Hey everybody, welcome to my humble studio here in my kitchen. Today I will be showing you how I grade my footage inside of DaVinci Resolve. I will be using the plugin from Dehancer. They're not sponsoring this video. They basically just reached out to me to see what I think of the plugin and if it's something that fits in my workflow. Alright, so before we start I just want to quickly go over the settings. So I'm working off a MacBook Air M1 and my settings are DaVinci RGB, DaVinci Wide Gamut Intermediate, and Rec 709 Scene. And I'm not a professional colorist or anything like that, so if you want more of a technical explanation of everything, then I recommend Darren Moston, who is a professional colorist. I will link him in the description down below. I will just show you my note tree, which works for me. So I will start off by making 5 notes, and I will label this first one CST. I will go here to the effects tab. I will choose color space transform and add that there. And then from here I will choose Panasonic Vlog since it was shot on a Lumix camera. And I will go to the DaVinci Wide Gamut and DaVinci Intermediate. And this is because I want to have it in a bigger color space. I don't have to do this step because my timeline space is already set to DaVinci Wide Gamut, but just to show you. And then I will choose color space transform on the last node also, which I will name Rec 709. And from here I will choose DaVinci Wide Gamut, DaVinci Intermediate, and then Rec 709 and Gamma 2.4. So this is the Rec 709 image. And before I add like the Dehancer node or anything like that, I will turn this one off so I have more space. I will build up like the where I control the exposure, the contrast, and also the white balance. If I want to change the exposure, I usually always do it in the HDR wheels, and I usually go into the globals and change it from there. But I think this is pretty well exposed, so I won't do too much to it. And then in the contrast, it depends. Like sometimes I will just add contrast this way because it kind of makes like a natural S-curve. But I can also, like if I want to be more precise, maybe there's like a couple different ways you can do it. You can either put up like a point here so you have like a base in the image of where you don't want the image to get affected, and then maybe from here I will lower down the highlights a little bit, raise the shadows, stuff like that. Or you can also, so if I reset this, you can also just go here and take editable splines, which I think is my preferred way of doing it. I like to raise the blacks a little bit and take down the highlights, and then from there I will like to make like a S-curve, so yeah, something around there. And then I will lower the shadows. I will maybe take down the blacks a little bit and raise these ones up a little bit more, maybe something like that. Yeah, somewhere around that, so it gets like a nice glow to the subject. And then I will go to the white balance, and how I check white balance is usually I will use the parades here. It depends also if there's like something white in the image. Otherwise I would just try to use my eye to get it somewhere somewhat neutral. So I will choose qualifier and then make sure that display qualifier focus is on. This just makes sure that wherever I point the mouse, you will see it in the waveform. So if I, for instance, take it to this white part here, you can see there's way more blue and green in the image. So I will actually try to take away the blue and green to get it somewhat neutral. You can do that either by going to the temper tint, or you can choose offset. You can also do it in the HDR wheels, but to be honest, I really like just keep it simple. I feel like this is, you don't have to overcomplicate everything. Then I will just lower this one here maybe and take away some of the green. I'll check once again how it looks. Yeah, the blue is way too dominant still. Um, let's see here. The blue is still quite dominant. I will remove some of the green actually also. And this was also shot a little bit more later in the day, so maybe it's also like it was quite a shadowy area, so it's probably will be a little bit blue, but yeah, somewhere like. And also I like you see, I like to remove color instead of adding red to the image. Feel it just feels more natural. So I mean, it's not like usually you want like the white part to be somewhat leveled, but here I really like what it's doing to the image. It's, you see it like before it's super blue, but now you're getting more separation in the colors. So and yeah, and I think that's enough. So after I've done like my basic exposure changes and the white balance changes, I will add another node, and then I will do a couple of parallel nodes. So usually this one I use for like a power window, and I have a second one if I need one. I won't be using either of these for this color grade. It's just basically if you want to make like a vignette or something like that to make your subject pop out, then you can definitely do that. For example, I can invert this and lower the background so it gets more of a pop to the image. But I will remove this, and then this one is like the overall saturation, which depends on the image, but I usually just remove some of the saturation or the overall saturation. So not too much. It's just like, for example, I don't really like the Lumix cameras sometimes have a lot of magenta in the image. So this just also helps to remove some of the unnecessary colors. And this one I will name color slice. In this one I will change like the density and also like the saturation in the individual colors. So like usually what I do, I usually take up the reds, the density in the reds a little bit, and I don't overdo anything. Like I think like the furthest I will go is somewhere around 10, 6, 10, somewhere around there. So let me see what it's doing. So it's also, you can also see it's also affecting the skin a little bit. So you want to be careful of not doing too much. I will actually lower this maybe to 6. What I like to do is actually move this a little bit more towards like a orangey red. And the skin maybe, yeah, just do like a 0.2 and maybe raise the saturation just a little bit, maybe. Yeah, looks good. And the yellows I like to, so you can also see what it's affecting, which I find it's really nice. For example, if I press this one, you can see that it's affecting the yellow in the trees, and you can see where the green's affecting. So usually I remove some saturation from the yellows, and I move this one maybe a little bit also towards orange, just to have like a little bit more of a neutral look. We'll actually change this one to vector scope to see what I'm doing. And here I will take away some of the green, like the saturation from the green, and I will add some density to it. I'll remove maybe a little bit of the cyan, and I usually move my blue channel a little bit more towards cyan, somewhere around there, and I also remove quite a bit of the blue. Also in the magenta I remove some saturation, and yeah, I think that's about it for that. So it's not doing too much, but I really like what it's doing. Like I really like to keep it subtle, you know. I don't like to overdo anything. This is how it's looking, the Rec 709 image and the grade. And to be honest, you don't really have to do much more than this. I usually just keep it like this, but if I want to add maybe something a little bit more like of a cinematic look, if I must use that word, then I will add like a split tone here. So I will go to the curves here, and I will press down option, press and hold option, and I will click here on the line so it makes sure that it stays on the line. And I will add one around here. Just have like an anchor point of stuff that won't be changing when I do these individual channels. So then I will either unlink them or just click on the red channel, for example. And I will remove some red from the shadows. And I will make sure that it's not affecting anything in this part. And I will also make a channel here or a point here. And I will do the same here. I'll add some red to the highlights, and I will keep this one. I'll maybe go up here somewhere. So like you can see that the red is really strong, so I will actually take this one down. And then I will do the same with the greens. I will remove some green. And I will add a point here also. And I will actually add some green here. So, and then I will go and add some, or remove some blue in the shadows, and I will add some blue here, just a little bit. Keep this locked off. So quite subtle, and you can easily like overdo it. So what I like to do, like either you can change your shallows here, which you can see like, oh, if I want to take away some green, maybe I will take away some red, because usually the red is pretty strong. But you can also go here to the key. You can go to the key output and put like maybe 1.5 or 0.5, and then the effect is not that strong. So yeah, that's basically what I've done with the grade. So once again, Rec 709 and with the grade. And then now I will add the Dehancer. This is where I feel like it really brings out these filmic colors and makes it quite easy to do it also. So I will put the Dehancer Pro here, and right away you will see that it looks terrible. And that's just because every effect is on by default. But I will go all the way down and press disable all tools. And you don't have to do like this workflow that I do. Like if you have Dehancer, you can actually choose what camera you have inside of the Dehancer plugin. So you can choose, for example, now I've shot it in Panasonic, and I can choose my camera, and now it looks like shit because I've already set the Rec 709 image. So since I'm working before the last node of the Rec 709, I will choose DaVinci Wide Gamut Intermediate. And from here is where I will choose the film stock. I think Dehancer has like 60 film stocks you can choose from, somewhere around there. And I think like the most popular ones are the Kodak Vision 3s, but I usually use the Fuji Colors Superior, either the 1600 or the 200. Let's see what this one looks like, and the 200. No, I like this one better, I think. Then I will go down to the print, so I will enable this, and I will choose the Kodak 2383 print film. Like this is usually the one that I always choose from, and it's pretty strong. And that's where I will probably like go back and maybe tweak something, but we'll see. We'll go here to the film developer. I will enable this one, and here I will bring in some more color with the color boost, but not too much. Yeah, somewhere there, around there maybe. And I will choose this film compression. So it kind of compresses like the highlights. And the other ones I don't really touch, to be honest. I just add like the film grain, and I usually choose like either the 35mm ISO 50 or the 65mm ISO 50. Just because I don't like it when it's too much grain in the image. So for this one I will probably use this and there. So you can see like a little bit what it's doing with the grain. Halation, I always enable this to get also like those filmic highlights, like it gets this like a halation glow around the highlights, which also is like a filmic characteristic. And then of course some bloom also. Like you can change here, but I usually leave these at default. Like sometimes maybe the bloom is a little bit too much. And yeah, that's basically it. So this is with Dehancer and this is without. Maybe it's a little bit strong in the highlights actually. So I'll actually go back here and I'll link these ones together. Edible splines. I'll actually take away some of the bloom. Somewhere around here. So I won't be able to play the clip because my computer will lag with all of these ones turned on. But yeah, I really like the look of Dehancer. I can maybe take a still of this one and I will go to this image, and if I take this on right away, it's gonna look weird because it's not the right white balance. So what I will do, I will turn this one off and turn also the split tone off, and with this one I will take it back and I can see that it's a little bit too red, so I will remove some of the red, maybe take away some of the green also. So before and after, maybe a little bit more of the red, somewhere around there. We'll actually make sure to check his color. I like that I can see the white shirt over here. So yeah, actually the red is still quite dominant in this picture. Yeah, somewhere around there, maybe take away a little bit more of the green. Then from here I can turn on the split tone and the Dehancer. So I mean, for me it looks super cool. And yeah, I really like it, like the bloom, the little bit of the halation. But yeah, this is basically it. I don't like to do too much more than this. I don't like to have 1,000 notes in my note tree. And yeah, if you want to get Dehancer for yourself, then I have some affiliate links down below, which helps out the channel and gives you 10% off if you want to have it for yourself. But yeah, that's basically it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.